Star Wars Willfully Blind, working title, by Adam Thomas. Prologue. Shaw sat up in his medical bed, attempting to rise despite the pain. "No, no, no, my boy," the grandfatherly voice soothed. "This is just a little visit from a family friend." "But, Supreme Chancellor, sir," Shaw continued his effort until a gentle hand rested on his shoulder. The hand exerted just enough pressure to topple him back onto his pillow. "From all I've heard, you've had quite the busy few months." Palpatine sat in a chair, pulled over to Shaw's bedside by one of his blue-clad Senate guards. "I would like your side of the story, if you feel up to it." "Sir, Shaw stammered, holding back a flood of feelings he had kept bottled up. "Everything is in my report." Shaw clamped down on his emotions. "Yes, I have read the reports," Palpatine continued. "All very nice and tidy. But I want what really happened." Again, Shaw struggled to hold back his frustration. "Sir, I'd like to know what was left out of the reports," Palpatine coaxed. "The truth you told your father." "What did Dad tell you?" Shaw's heart stopped as his eyes fell on the dark-robed young Jedi standing in the corner of the room. The boy, who could not have been much older than Shaw, smiled warmly. "Not enough, I'm afraid." Palpatine placed his hand on his shoulder. "Go on." Shaw's words spilled out before he could stop himself. "It was all the Jedi's fault." Anakin had a dark look on his face as he exited the room. He was only half listening when he heard Palpatine conclude, "Try to rest. I still see great things in store for you, young man." The elder statesman joined him in the hallway. "Don't scowl, Anakin. I'm sure what he said was not meant at you personally." Anakin had been hurt by the comments about the Jedi. Still, he was not mad. Anakin always felt a kind of kinship for anyone who had been a slave, and that man had just spent 9 months in a slag hole of a forced labor camp Anakin could not fully imagine, or perhaps just did not want to. His childhood in bondage had been long, but at least it had not involved months of physical torture. "That is not it, Chancellor. I knew Casus Kotor. He was not as reckless as Shaw describes him. Clearly something went horribly wrong." Palpatine patted Anakin's back. "Master Kotor was a newly elevated master. From all accounts, meant well, but lacked experience. Sadly, not every Jedi can be as talented as you, my boy." Anakin smiled. "You flatter me." "No, my boy, it is the truth." Palpatine offered a warm smile. "I like to think I have an eye for talent. I meant it all those years ago when I said I would watch your career with interest." "You said something similar to him just now." "Valen Shaw is a dear friend, and I am very pleased his son is proving just as talented and loyal. Tell me, Anakin, what are your impressions of him? What did your tests reveal to you?" "His combat record shows that he is an above-average pilot. He clearly values the clones under his command." "Very brave of him to buy time as he did. He knew the Separatists would just execute the clones, should they be captured, but he would be held for ransom," Palpatine commented as they left the main wing of the infirmary. "Officially, I have to praise Valen's refusal to negotiate his son's release." "But privately you feel sorry for your friend, because of what the Separatists did to his son," Anakin finished. "You are very perceptive, my young Jedi friend. The Force does you credit. What else can you tell me about him?" "Otherwise, he seems very ordinary. His metachlorine level was tested when he was an infant, on the higher end of average, nothing remarkable. We tested him again once he was rescued. He insisted that he had heard voices and just knew things. He claimed it was from his gods. Master Plo Koon thought it would be best to be certain. he was not Force-sensitive and was somehow missed. The results were the same, above average, but well within what is considered normal. Sad, really. Oh? Even without his eye, if he were a Jedi, he could still pilot a starfighter. I do not understand his refusal to accept a cybernetic replacement. Anakin could not help but brush his false arm with his real one. Tarsonians are a deeply religious people, Anakin. Once the Archons announce the will of the gods, well, you, better than anyone, should understand how an organization's dogmatic approach can be limiting. Anakin wrinkled his nose. Are you comparing their blind obedience to some mythical deity to the Jedi? Not directly. No one has more respect for the Jedi than I. But there are certain parallels. Maybe, Anakin mused. But the Force is real, not just a story. Palpatine smiled. I am just a humble politician, Anakin. The Force, ancient gods, all is well beyond my scope of expertise. Anakin was forming a question when his comlink chirped. I am here, Master. Where are you, Anakin? His master's voice sounded more flustered than normal. We are very late. I've been trying to reach you for over an hour. Master Kenobi, Palpatine said cheerfully. I must apologize. I asked Anakin to join me in visiting some of our wounded men at the infirmary. Time seems to have gotten away from us. Ah, yes. Anakin inwardly grinned at his master's stumbling. We are very late, Anakin. Please come to the temple as soon as you can. I understand, Master Kenobi. I will send him on his way. Palpatine's voice was as smooth as Jama butter. Thank you for your understanding, Master Kenobi.